The Great Pyramid of Giza. Part 1. An enigmatic beginning. In the north of Egypt, at the edge of the vast desert, between the rise and fall of the sun, stands a colossal figure that has remained silent for 500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza. This ancient wonder, though seemingly mute today, still whispers stories long buried by time. As night falls, it casts a long shadow beneath the stars, as if guarding some ancient secret. And today, we begin our journey across this golden land, slowly unveiling the mystery behind the Great Pyramid of Giza. But before we begin, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and imagine yourself standing before the pyramid. A gentle breeze brushes your cheeks. The air carries a scent, a blend of sand and something ancient. There's no noise, only the soft crunch of sand underfoot and the steady flow of time itself. The Great Pyramid was built around 2560 BCE as the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu of Egypt's 4th dynasty. Later generations would call it the Pyramid of Khufu. Originally standing 146.6 meters tall, it held the record as the tallest man-made structure in the world for nearly 800 years. It's almost beyond imagination. Thousands of years ago, without cranes or concrete, how did humans manage to stack over 2.3 million massive blocks of limestone and granite, one by one, toward the sky? Historians and engineers have proposed many theories about how it was built. One widely accepted idea is that the ancient Egyptians used long, sloped ramps, pushing the stones upward with sledges, pulleys, and logs. But other scholars suggest different possibilities. Some believe spiral passageways may exist within the pyramid, used to lift stones internally. There are even bold theories claiming this engineering feat came from some long-lost ancient knowledge, or perhaps even extraterrestrial technology. Of course, some of these theories are grounded in reality. Others lean toward myth, but they all share one message. The construction of the pyramid was not merely a feat of labor, but a grand union of belief and intellect. The design of Khufu's pyramid is also astonishingly precise. Its 4 sides align almost perfectly with the cardinal directions east, west, south, and north, with a deviation of less than 0.05 degrees. Imagine, in an age without satellites or compasses, how did the ancients achieve such accuracy? Some believe they observed the stars, tracked shadows, and through years of calculation and practice, discovered a perfect balance between heaven and earth. The pyramid is not just a pile of stones, it's a connection between sky and ground, the living and the dead, humanity and the divine. For the ancient Egyptians, death was not the end, but the beginning of eternity. The pyramid was the staircase built for the soul to ascend to the afterlife. All this begins to show us that the pyramid's significance goes far beyond being a mere tomb. It is a reflection of an era, a symbol of humankind's yearning for the eternal, and a silent response to the mysteries of the cosmos. In the next chapter, we'll step inside the pyramid into its hidden passageways and chambers, and the silent symbols and relics that have slumbered for millennia. What incredible stories do they hold? Let us continue onward, listening to the whispers of time between the stars and the stones. Part 2. The secrets within the pyramid. Now, once again, close your eyes and imagine yourself standing at the foot of the Great Pyramid. The sun has long since set, and night cloaks the desert like ink. In your hand, you hold a faintly glowing oil lamp, beginning a journey sealed for millennia descent into the heart of the pyramid. From the outside, the Pyramid of Khufu appears like a silent mountain, but inside, it reveals itself to be a precise and intricate labyrinth. The entrance lies on the northern face, slightly above ground level. From there, a narrow stone passage slopes downward, the descending passage. It leads 30 meters underground to the so-called unfinished chamber, a rough, empty space with bare walls and an unpaved floor. Some speculate it was Khufu's originally intended resting place, later abandoned due to a change in design. Others believe the very existence of this underground chamber holds a hidden, unknown purpose. Continuing along another route, the ascending passage, we reach the most awe-inspiring part of the pyramid, the Grand Gallery. This soaring corridor is nearly 8 meters tall and stretches close to 50 meters in length. The stepped walls curve inward, not for function, it seems, but for symbolism. Walking through it feels like traversing a time tunnel to the stars, each step bringing you closer to an unseen world. At the end of the Grand Gallery lies the King's Chamber, constructed entirely from massive granite blocks. Inside, there is nothing but a single, empty sarcophagus. No body, no treasures, no wall paintings or inscriptions. It is silent, solemn, and shrouded in mystery. Above the King's Chamber are 5 hidden relieving chambers, a brilliant feat of ancient engineering. These spaces were designed to redistribute the immense weight of the pyramid's stones, preventing the chamber below from collapsing. Yet in these upper spaces, archaeologists discovered something unexpected. Graffiti, not part of any funerary art. One of them boldly bears the name Khufu, the most direct evidence linking the pyramid to the pharaoh himself. Even more puzzling are the pyramid's mysterious air shafts. In both the King's Chamber and the Queen's Chamber, there are 2 narrow channels, each less than 25 centimeters wide, stretching from inside the pyramid to its outer structure. They're often called ventilation shafts, but that's misleading. The shafts from the Queen's Chamber are completely sealed and don't open to the outside at all. The orientation of these shafts is astonishingly precise. Some align with Orion's belt, others with Sirius, and still others with the North Star. In the ancient Egyptian cosmos, these stars represented the realms of the gods' celestial destinations for the soul of the deceased pharaoh. Many believe these shafts served as star paths, guiding the soul through darkness to the eternal afterlife. Some researchers even suggest that the layout of these shafts reflects advanced mathematical knowledge, incorporating approximations of pi, and the golden ratio, phi. These encoded secrets make one wonder, without modern tools, how did the ancient Egyptians acquire such profound knowledge? Perhaps they weren't merely building a tomb, but weaving a cosmic allegory using stone, stars, and numbers to send a message across the ages. Inside the pyramid, there are no dazzling decorations, no gleam of gold, only stone, darkness, and silence. And it is precisely this silence that evokes the deepest sense of reverence. It does not boast, yet it weighs heavily on the soul. It does not speak, yet in its stillness, we feel the presence of something vast and eternal. As we walk the stone corridors, it's as if we're walking through time itself. Each passage is a question posed to the soul. Where do we come from? Where do we go? And in between, can we leave behind something that will never fade? In the next part, we'll rise from the inner chambers back to the surface to see how the Great Pyramid's role evolved throughout history, how it transformed from a royal tomb into a timeless mystery and even a spiritual symbol. And by its side, what other monuments have stood the test of time with it? The night breeze stirs. The stars remain awake. Let us press forward. Part 3. The Evolving Identity and Millennia. Old Mysteries of the Pyramid. Time is the most mysterious sculptor. It works in silence, yet it can carve a structure from a tomb into a mystery, and from a mystery into a legend. Now, take a slow, deep breath. Let your thoughts return to the foot of the pyramid, not entering it this time, but gazing at its silhouette across the river of time. When the Pyramid of Khufu was first completed, it stood as the tallest man-made structure in the world, a title it held for nearly 800 years, until it was surpassed by Gothic cathedrals in Europe. At that time, the pyramid was covered in smooth, dazzling white limestone casing stones, gleaming under the sun like a snow-capped mountain, a sacred peak connecting earth and sky. The ancient Egyptians called it Akhet Khufu, the horizon of Khufu. In their beliefs, the pyramid was not merely a tomb, but a staircase to eternity. Its shape mirrored the rising sun, symbolizing the pharaoh's soul ascending like the sun, journeying across the heavens, returning to the realm of the gods. This was a vast cosmic vision, compressed into the geometry of stone. But with changing dynasties and fading civilizations, the pyramid gradually sank beneath the sands of time. By 1000 BCE, Egypt had ceased building such colossal pyramids. The sacredness of the structure began to fade it, became a ruin and a paradise for tomb robbers. Its limestone casing was stripped away to construct mosques, palaces, and houses. The once radiant monument became weathered, exposed, and misinterpreted, used, reused, and misunderstood. By the time of the Greeks and Romans, the pyramid became a symbol of foreign mystery. In the 5th century BCE, the Greek historian Herodotus visited Egypt. He wrote that the pyramid had taken 100 workers 20 years to build, though he admitted his knowledge came mostly from local guides. In his words, the pyramid stood as a symbol, a miracle of an ancient civilization, and a pinnacle of human will. In the Middle Ages, travelers added their own layers of myth. Some claimed magic tablets were hidden inside. Others believed the pyramid was a warning left by a lost king. Still others claimed it wasn't a tomb at all, but a stargate. In modern times, the identity of the pyramid shifted again from religious symbol to the center of a battle between science and mysticism. In the 19th century, European explorers and archaeologists descended upon Egypt, measuring and excavating the pyramid. They discovered stunning facts. Its four sides are almost perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions within 0.1 degrees. The lengths of its base sides differ by less than 2 centimeters. Such precision today requires laser instruments. How could the ancients achieve it? These findings sparked imagination. Some began to propose that the builders possessed knowledge far beyond their time. Others went further, suggesting the pyramid couldn't possibly have been built by human hands alone. And so emerged the idea of ancient astronaut theories that the pyramid was constructed with the help of extraterrestrial beings. Unbelievable? Perhaps. But it's this very strangeness that makes the pyramid one of humanity's most mesmerizing enigmas. Even today, some believe the pyramid holds energy fields, cosmic frequencies, or secrets of quantum resonance. Perhaps we don't need to dismiss these ideas too quickly, because standing before the pyramid, we're not really seeking answers. What we face is a reflection of our own longing for knowledge, immortality, and a sense of order in the universe. Beside the Great Pyramid stand two smaller ones, belonging to Khufu's son Khafre and grandson Menkaure. Many scholars believe their alignment mirrors the 3 stars of Orion's belt. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion represented Osiris, god of the afterlife and rebirth. Thus, the pyramids were like a celestial projection on Earth, bringing divine stars down to the human world, guiding the dead to eternity. In this way, the pyramid is not just stone, it is a mirror, reflecting our dreams, fears, and questions. A stage where gods, stars, and mortals dance together. Perhaps you too have looked up at the night sky and asked, where did we come from? And where are we going? The Great Pyramid of Giza may be the same question, asked thousands of years ago, carved in stone. In the next part, we'll explore the greatest technical mystery. How was the pyramid built without modern machinery? Was there truly a lost technology? Did the builders leave behind a hidden code? Now, take a deep breath. Let your body relax into the silence of the night. We'll meet again in the next chapter of the journey. Part 4. Construction Mysteries and Lost Knowledge. The night deepens, and our thoughts sink even further. We now stand beneath the shadow of the pyramid, gazing up at the towering marvel of millions of stone blocks, and we can't help but ask, how was this even possible? No cranes, no electricity, no modern tools, yet somehow, ancient Egyptians transported, shaped, and stacked these stones, many weighing over 2 tons, into a structure still standing 400-500 years later. Was it purely human effort? Or is there a forgotten intelligence hidden behind it? The traditional explanation: manpower, ramps, and precise planning. Most Egyptologists believe the pyramid was built using massive labor forces, simple tools, and meticulous organization. The stones were quarried upstream on the Nile, transported by boat, then dragged into place with wooden sleds and ropes. They may have constructed spiral or straight ramps to raise the stones to higher levels. Plausible, yes, but problems arise. A straight ramp would need to be over a kilometer long, requiring immense resources. A spiral ramp would disrupt the pyramid's precise geometry. And most importantly, where are the remains? Such an enormous construction system should have left behind traces, but we find almost none. That's why some researchers, including engineers, and even former NASA consultants, began to ask, could the ancient builders have used a forgotten technology? Beyond their time, geometry, sound, and softened stone? Consider these measurements. The pyramid sides are aligned to true north within 0.06 degrees. The difference in base lengths is less than 2 cm. Its footprint forms an almost perfect square. These are not accidents. They suggest a deep understanding of geometry, astronomy, and perhaps even Earth's dimensions. Some speculate that the pyramid sits at the geometric center of Earth's landmass. Multiply its height by 1 billion, and you get the average distance from Earth to the Sun. Coincidence or something more? Others go further, proposing alternative theories, that the stones weren't cut and stacked, but softened, molded like clay, then hardened. This idea stems from strange, liquid-like textures on stone blocks in Peru and Egypt, where rocks appear melted or fused together. Today, such precision requires high temperatures or chemicals. Some have even explored the pyramid's acoustic properties. In the king's chamber, visitors report a strange resonant vibration sound reverberates unnaturally, as if the entire structure is a tuning device. Could the pyramid be more than a monument? Could it be a resonant machine designed to connect consciousness, channel energy, or even reach out to the cosmos? Mainstream science remains skeptical. Yet it's these fringe ideas that give the pyramid its spellbinding mystery. Human achievement or echo of a lost civilization? You may have heard of Atlantis, Lemuria, or ancient spacefaring civilizations. We may never prove they existed, but perhaps what matters more is this. The pyramid forces us to ask not only how it was built, but what we may have forgotten. Are we truly more advanced than the ancients? Or have we lost something wisdom, vision, purpose that they once held? When we gaze upon the pyramid, we're engaging in a conversation across millennia about belief, technology, willpower, and the very edges of human understanding. Perhaps the pyramid is a snapshot of a forgotten peak, preserved in the desert, waiting to be decoded. In the next chapter, we'll turn inward, into the dark, hidden corridors and strange rooms within the pyramid. Are they random passages, or encrypted messages in stone? Do they hold a secret that has waited 400-500 years to be unveiled? For now, let your mind rest. Let the silence of the pyramid soothe your breath. We'll continue this journey soon. Part 5. The Hidden Chambers and Sleeping Secrets Inside the Pyramid. The night is already very deep. We continue this quiet journey, stepping into the interior of the Great Pyramid of Giza. At this moment, imagine holding a faint oil lamp in your hand, walking into corridors, silent for more than 4,000 years. The air carries dust, the chill of stone, and an indescribable ancient aura. Inside, there are no decorations, no murals, none of the ritual symbols commonly seen in royal tombs. The pyramid's interior is vast, cold, and silent, almost mysterious. Why is this magnificent structure almost empty inside? This is one of the most captivating mysteries of the pyramid. The 3 main chambers and peculiar passages, the beginning of the mystery. Inside the Great Pyramid, the core structure includes 3 main chambers. 1. The underground chamber, carved into the bedrock below, unfinished, dark and damp. 2. The Queen's chamber, centrally located, small and sealed, seemingly never used. 3. The King's chamber, situated at the geometric center of the building, constructed from large blocks of granite, containing an empty stone sarcophagus. The passages leading to these rooms are narrow and inclined, some only wide enough to crawl through. The entire layout resembles a vast and precise labyrinth. But the question is, what exactly were these rooms used for? According to traditional belief, these were the tombs of the pharaoh, but to this day, no body, no burial goods, and not even inscriptions have been found inside the pyramid. This is not the result of grave robbers, there are no traces of anything ever being placed there. A massive pyramid, built with almost the entire resources of Egypt. Was it really just to house an empty stone coffin? Or is there a deeper purpose we have yet to understand? Ventilation shafts? Or stellar gates? On the walls of the king's and queen's chambers, there are two slender shafts, each about 20 centimeters wide and over 60 meters long, extending upward and penetrating the pyramid's outer surface. Initially, archaeologists thought these were ventilation shafts, designed to supply air during construction, but this explanation soon became insufficient, because the queen's chamber shafts do not actually penetrate the outer layer of the pyramid but end in sealed blocks. Moreover, these shafts were completed during construction, so it's unlikely they were merely for air circulation during building. Astronomers then noticed a striking coincidence. The shafts seemed to align precisely with specific stars. The king's chamber shafts point toward Orion's belt in Sirius. The queen's chamber shafts align with the constellations of Ursa Minor and Ophiuchus. In ancient Egyptian belief, Orion symbolized Osiris, the god of the underworld, death and rebirth, while Sirius was associated with Isis, the goddess linked to the soul's journey to the afterlife. Does this mean these shafts were pathways for the soul's ascent? Were they some kind of cosmic coordinates connecting the mortal world with the stars? If so, the pyramid's purpose might be far beyond a mere tomb. Hidden doors and hints of secret chambers. The pyramid has not yet revealed all its secrets. In 1993, a robot named Upuat was sent into one of the queen's chamber shafts and found a sealed stone door with two copper handles in the middle. It looked like a door that had never been opened. In 2011, more advanced robots captured images behind the door, discovering a hidden cavity with mysterious symbols which no one has yet entered. Scholars call it Gantenbrink's door. Since then, infrared and microgravity scans have revealed a large unknown void in the upper structure of the pyramid called the Big Void. It is about 30 meters high, roughly the size of a Boeing airplane, but has no known entrance or historical record. What is it? A ritual chamber? An energy regulator? Or a riddle deliberately left by the Egyptians for future wisdom seekers? We cannot enter or explain it yet. Sacred geometry or a sleeping ritual machine? Some researchers propose a bold hypothesis. The pyramid might not just be a building. Instead, it could be an energy device, a ritual machine, or even a vessel for consciousness ascension. This theory is based on the pyramid's use of many golden ratios and mathematical symbols in its design, including the ratio between the pyramid's height and base approximates pi. The slope angle is close to the Fibonacci sequence. Its geometric center aligns astonishingly with Earth's poles and geographical coordinates. Does this mean the pyramid was a giant tuning device designed to connect humanity with a higher consciousness? Or was it a time-sealed ritual site waiting to be awakened at some destined moment? Conclusion. The sleeping pyramid, does it still guard an unrevealed secret? When we leave the pyramid and stand on the quiet desert dunes at night, looking back at that silent giant, you might feel it is not a lifeless object. It is like a massive presence, long asleep for thousands of years yet still waiting to be understood, waiting to be awakened, waiting for an era of humanity that can finally read its true language. The pyramid has no epitaph, no name. It leaves behind no answers, only questions. Questions that have lasted millennia and passed through generations' curiosity. Did you hear its whisper tonight? Thank you for accompanying us on this part of the journey. If you enjoy this kind of mysterious, slow-paced, and relaxing historical exploration, perfect for nighttime listening, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you at the next wonder. Good night.